The restaurant floated high above the shining city. Its windows were wide and clear, showing stars in the endless black sky beyond. Golden lights from chandeliers glowed above, and the sound of soft music moved through the air. People whispered, glasses touched, and laughter spread between tables. But at one corner, far from the center, one man sat waiting. He wore a simple black suit. His hair was neat, his face calm, but his heart beat faster than he wanted. He was not nervous about food. He was not nervous about the restaurant. He was nervous about who would soon walk through the door. For weeks he had thought about this night. He had sent an invitation, a simple message, "Let's eat together." He had written it with no plan, no clear reason, only a strange pull he felt when he first saw her. She was not like anyone else. She was not even human. Her name was known in whispers across the colony. Some called her a visitor. Some called her a beauty. Some said she was dangerous. He did not know what to believe, but he wanted to meet her. And now, the moment had come. The door at the far end of the room opened. Heads turned, voices lowered, and even the music seemed softer for a moment. She walked in. Her skin was smooth and deep purple, glowing faintly under the lights. Her hair fell in red waves, bright and fiery like a living flame. Her steps were slow, graceful, each one filled with quiet confidence. She wore a black dress that caught the light, simple yet striking, as if the room had been made only for her. People at nearby tables stopped eating. Some stared in awe, some in fear, some in silence. But she did not look at them. Her eyes, sharp and shining, found him at once. She walked straight to his table. The man stood quickly, unsure if he should bow, shake her hand, or do nothing at all. She smiled, just a little, and sat across from him. "You invited me," she said softly. Her voice carried a strange music, as if every word was half song, half whisper. "So here I am." He nodded, trying to hide the way his hands shook. "Yes," he answered. "I thought maybe dinner would be good." Her smile widened, though her eyes did not change. They stayed sharp, focused on him. "Dinner," she repeated, tasting the word as if it was strange to her. "Yes. Let us see what dinner means to you." The waiter came, nervous, almost bowing as he placed glasses of wine on the table. The man thanked him quickly, eager for the moment to pass, but she said nothing. Her eyes never left him. He lifted his glass, trying to make things lighter. "To meeting," he said. She raised her glass, not blinking, not smiling now. "To beginnings," she replied. They drank. The liquid was sweet and warm, but the man barely tasted it. His mind spun. He had thought this would feel like a normal meeting, perhaps even like a date. But something in her gaze told him he had been wrong. Minutes passed. Plates were set on the table, food arranged with care. The man cut small pieces, ate slowly, tried to speak of simple things: the city lights, the floating ships, the trade that kept the colony alive. She listened, silent, her head tilted as if every word mattered. But she did not eat. Her fork stayed still. Her wine glass, once touched, sat untouched. Finally, she leaned closer. The soft golden light from the candles lit her face. Her purple skin seemed to glow against the flame, her red hair catching fire like shadows. "You are curious about me," she said. The man nodded, unable to deny it. "Yes." "And you are not afraid?" He swallowed. He wanted to say he was not. He wanted to say he was calm. But her voice, her stare, made lying impossible. "A little," he admitted. For the first time, her eyes softened. She leaned back, a slow breath leaving her lips. "Good," she said. "Fear keeps you alive. But curiosity—" She paused, letting the silence stretch, letting the tension rise. "Curiosity changes everything." The man shifted in his seat, unsure where the night was going. This was not a dinner anymore. This was something else. He could feel it in the air. The laughter of other guests seemed distant now, like echoes from another world. Only her, only this moment, seemed real. She tapped one finger against her glass, still not drinking. "Tell me," she said. "Why did you invite me? You could have asked anyone. You could have chosen a human woman, yet you chose me." The man opened his mouth, then closed it. He did not know the answer himself. He only knew that when he first saw her, when he first heard her voice, something inside him had shifted. "I do not know," he said finally. "I just felt I should." Her lips curved, not quite a smile, not quite a threat. "Honest," she said. "Good." The waiter came again, placing more food, bowing lower this time, almost afraid. The alien woman did not look at him, did not thank him. Her eyes stayed locked on the man across from her. The man tried to push the tension away. "It is only dinner," he said, half to her, half to himself. But she leaned forward again, her voice softer now, more dangerous. "No," she whispered. "It is never only dinner." The words hung between them, heavy, sharp, unshakable, and at that moment the man realized something. The meal on the table, the lights above, the other guests, all of it was only a mask. Something far greater had brought her here, and whatever it was, it had nothing to do with food. The candles flickered. Soft shadows stretched across the table, rising and falling as if they were alive. Around them, other guests ate and spoke, but their voices sounded far away, muffled, unimportant. At that table, in that corner, there was only the man and the alien woman, and the silence between them. She had not touched her food. She had not touched her glass again. She sat still, her red hair falling across her shoulders, her purple skin shining faintly in the warm light. But her eyes never stopped moving. They followed every gesture of his hand, every nervous glance, every shallow breath. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was smooth, soft, but it pressed into his chest like weight. "Tell me about your family." The question was sudden, too sudden. He blinked, unsure. "My family?" "Yes," she said. "Do you have one? Parents, brothers, sisters?" He hesitated. No one had asked him that in years. "I had parents," he said slowly. "They passed. I have no brothers, no sisters. I am alone." She leaned back as if she had been expecting the answer. "Alone," she repeated. That word carries so much. Some are afraid of it, some are defined by it, and some— She tilted her head, her gaze sharpening. "Some are chosen because of it." The man shifted in his chair. He tried to smile, tried to joke. "These are heavy questions for a dinner." But she did not smile back. She placed her hands on the table, fingers long and elegant, nails glinting in the candlelight. "Dinner is only a setting. Conversation is the real meal." He said nothing. He only nodded, unsure how to reply. Her eyes narrowed slightly, then softened again. "What about your health? Your body? Strong? Weak?" The man laughed nervously. "Why does that matter?" "Because," she said simply, "I must know." He frowned but answered, "I am strong enough. I worked in the colonies, loading ships, fixing machines. My body is not perfect, but it is alive." Her lips curved again, but only a fraction. "Alive is a good start. Alive means potential." The words felt strange, heavy. He wondered what she really wanted, why she had agreed to come at all. Her tone, her questions, none of this was about food or casual talk. He tried to change the subject. He pointed toward the wide window behind her. Stars glowed, scattered like dust across black. Ships floated between them, small lights crossing the night. "Do you like it here? This colony?" he asked. Her gaze did not turn to the stars. "No," she said flatly. "This place is temporary. It is nothing but metal and glass floating in emptiness. A cage with expensive wine." Her words made him pause. He glanced around at the glowing lights, the polished tables, the laughter of wealthy voices. To her, it was all meaningless. Then why come here? he asked quietly. Her eyes locked on him again, and this time, her voice was sharper. Because you are here. The man froze. The words sank into him, heavy and cold. He had not expected that answer. He thought she might have said curiosity or boredom or some vague need for diplomacy. But she said it so clearly, so simply. You do not know me, he whispered. I know enough, she replied. I know what I see. I know what I sense. I know what I need. Her voice had changed again, no longer soft. It carried weight, like stone pressing against his chest. He tried to swallow, but his throat was dry. He wanted to leave, to stand, to walk away. But at the same time, something in her eyes held him still. Like a force, invisible yet unbreakable. Her hand moved, slow, deliberate. She lifted her glass at last, and for the first time since she had sat down, she drank. The golden wine touched her lips, slid down her throat, but her eyes never left him. She placed the glass down carefully, almost silently. Then she leaned closer, so close that he could feel the faint warmth of her breath. Do humans believe in legacy? She asked. The man blinked, startled by the sudden turn. Legacy? Yes, she said. When your body fades, when your life is gone, what remains? Do you think about what comes after you? The man searched for words. He thought of his parents, their graves far away, their names carved in stone no one visited anymore. He thought of his empty house, of nights without voices, of mornings without footsteps. Legacy? He had none. I have not thought about it, he admitted quietly. Her eyes studied him, searching deeper as if peeling away layers of thought. That is what makes you different, she said. You do not chase it. You do not build monuments to yourself. You are open, empty, ready to be filled. The man's heart pounded. He could not understand why her words frightened him. They should not. She was only speaking, but something about the way she looked at him, something about the way she said ready to be filled, sent a shiver through his bones. He tried to laugh it off. You speak like this is not a dinner but a test. It is, she answered calmly. He froze again. A test? Her smile finally returned, but it was not warm. It was sharp, dangerous, almost cruel. Yes, and you are passing. The candles shook in the faint air current from the vents above. Shadows twisted across her face, turning her beauty into something darker, something more powerful. The man swallowed hard. He wanted to stand, to leave, but his body refused. Every part of him was caught between fear and fascination. For the first time since the night began, he realized a terrible truth. He had invited her with a simple message. He thought he had made the choice. But sitting across from her now, he understood. She had accepted because she had already chosen him. And whatever this was, it was only just beginning. The silence around the table had grown heavy. The man shifted in his chair, his fork resting on the untouched food, his hand hovering near the glass. The alien woman leaned forward, her red hair sliding across her shoulders like liquid fire. Her golden eyes were locked on him, unblinking, steady, sharp. Why me? He finally asked, his voice breaking the silence. Out of all the people here, out of all the humans on this colony, why me? She did not answer at once. She let the question hang, as though the weight of it made the room smaller. Then slowly she spoke. Because you are alive, she said softly. Because you are unbound. Because you are not yet claimed by duty, blood or promise, he frowned. The words made little sense. Claimed? By who? By anyone, she replied. By anything. A life without anchors is a rare thing. And I need rare. Her voice had changed again. It carried a low power now, something that pressed against the air itself. The man tried to keep calm, but his chest felt tight. You keep speaking in riddles, he said. What is it you want from me? The alien woman smiled. It was slow, deliberate, and this time it reached her eyes. But instead of warmth, there was fire behind it. You invited me to share a meal, she said, and I came. But I did not come for food. I came because I have something greater to ask of you. His hand tightened around his glass. His pulse quickened. Ask me? She leaned even closer, so that the golden light of the candles lit her features in sharp detail. Her voice dropped to a whisper that still felt louder than all the laughter in the room. Share yourself with me, she said. The man froze. For a moment he thought he had misheard. The words sounded too heavy, too strange to belong in this place of polished tables and soft music. "I do not understand," he said quietly. Her gaze did not move. "I am not here to eat with you. I'm here to join with you, to take your strength, your blood, your line, to breed." The word landed like a knife. His mind stopped, his breath caught. For a long second, the room around him felt unreal. The voices of other guests, the sound of cutlery, even the distant hum of the station. All of it fell away. There was only her voice echoing inside him. "Breed?" he repeated, almost choking on the word. "Yes," she said calmly, as though it were the most natural thing in the universe. "My people are dying. Fewer are born each cycle. The lines weaken. The old blood fades. We have searched across stars for those who can restore what we have lost. And we found it in humans." His chest tightened. His thoughts spun wildly. He had expected talk of trade, politics, or maybe even flirtation. But this was something else, something far beyond him. "You cannot be serious," he whispered. Her eyes narrowed, glowing faintly in the candlelight. "I am always serious. Life is too short for lies. My kind does not play with words. We speak what must be spoken." The man leaned back in his chair, but his body felt trapped. "And you think I will just agree to this?" Her lips curved into a sharper smile. "You already have." His breath caught again. "What do you mean?" "When you sent your invitation," she said, her voice steady, "you opened the door. When you said let us eat together, you were asking me to sit across from you, to share more than food. You may not have known what it meant, but the words carried more weight than you realized, and I accepted." He shook his head, his voice breaking. "I only meant dinner." Her smile deepened. "Yes, humans always mean less than they say. But sometimes the universe means more." The man gripped the edge of the table, trying to steady himself. His mind fought between fear and disbelief, but he could not look away from her. Her beauty was undeniable, but now it carried danger, like fire in human form. Around them, other guests continued eating, unaware of the storm brewing at one table. The candles flickered again, shadows dancing across her face. She tilted her head, her eyes narrowing as she studied him. "Do not fear," she said. "This is not punishment. This is gift. I chose you. Out of thousands, I chose you. Do you know what that means?" He did not answer. He could not. "It means you will carry more than your own life," she continued. "You will carry a future, my kind. Your kind. Together." The words pressed into him like chains. He felt caught between the pull of destiny and the urge to run. His voice finally returned, low and shaking. "And if I refuse?" Her smile vanished. Her eyes hardened, sharp as blades. For a moment, the air itself seemed colder. "You will not," she said. The man's throat went dry. "You cannot force me." Her gaze burned into him. "I do not need to force you. Curiosity already binds you. Fear keeps you seated. And something inside you—" She paused, her head tilting slightly. "Something inside you wants this, even if you will not admit it." The words cut deep. He wanted to deny them, to shout, to push the table aside and leave. But she was right about one thing: his body had not moved. His legs stayed still. His hands trembled, but they did not pull away. His eyes remained locked to hers. The alien woman leaned back, her voice lowering again, almost gentle now. "You invited me to dinner. I invite you to a future. The choice is yours." "But choices have weight." The man swallowed hard. His mind screamed to run, but his chest burned with something else, something dangerous, something he did not want to name. For the first time that night, he understood the true meaning of her presence. She had not come as a guest. She had not come as a date. She had come as a hunter. And he was the prey she had chosen. The room felt smaller. The stars outside seemed farther. The wine in his glass sat untouched, and her last words before silence returned pressed into him like a mark carved in stone. "One meal can be forgotten. One union will never fade." The man sat frozen, his heart pounding so hard he thought others in the restaurant might hear it. The alien woman leaned back in her chair, her golden eyes still fixed on him, her lips curved in the faintest smile. The candlelight painted her in shifting shadows, making her beauty almost unreal, almost dangerous. His mind screamed to leave, but his body betrayed him. He could not rise. He could not look away. Her words still rang in his ears like bells that refused to fade. "One union will never fade," he swallowed, his throat dry. "This is madness," he whispered. Her voice slid across the table, soft but cutting. Madness is only what the weak call change. He shook his head, trying to steady his breathing. You cannot expect me to just agree. I do not even know you. She leaned forward again, her eyes narrowing, catching the firelight. You know enough. You know what you see. You know what you feel. That is more than names, more than history. Flesh and blood do not need long stories. They need truth, her words unsettled him. He tried to think of home, of his parents, of the quiet life he had before this night. But all of it seemed far away, fading like smoke. Here, in this place, in this moment, only she felt real. The man pressed his palms against the table, trying to anchor himself. You said your people are dying. Why me? Why not ask someone else? Why not ask a scientist, a leader, someone who understands such things? Her gaze did not soften. If anything, it sharpened. Because I do not need a leader. I do not need a scholar. I need a body. I need a life force strong enough to carry what must come next. And you, human. She paused, tilting her head slightly. You carry something rare. His chest tightened. What do you mean? Her voice lowered, almost like a whisper meant only for him. I feel it in you, a spark. A fire you do not see, but I see it. It is why you are alone, why you are restless, why you looked at me that first time and could not look away. Do you think that was chance? The man shivered. He remembered that first sight of her, the glow of her skin, the way her eyes seemed to cut through the crowd, the way his breath had caught. It had felt like gravity pulling him closer. And now, hearing her words, he realized that maybe it had not been his choice at all. Maybe she had chosen him from the start. He leaned back, shaking his head. No, this cannot be real. Her smile returned, sharper this time. It is real. More real than the food on this table. More real than the stars outside. You feel it, do you not, the pull? The heat beneath your skin? His pulse quickened. He wanted to deny it, but his body betrayed him again. There was something there deep inside. Something rising like a tide he could not control. Fear and desire mixed until he could not tell them apart. The alien woman's hand moved, slow and deliberate, across the table. Her long fingers brushed the edge of his glass, then stopped, resting only inches from his. Her touch did not reach him, but the space between them felt charged, alive. You are afraid, she said softly, but fear is not your enemy. Fear is the proof that you stand at the edge of change. Step forward, and fear becomes power. The man's breath came fast. He clenched his fists, his nails digging into his palms. And if I do not step forward? Her eyes glowed faintly, the candlelight catching them like molten gold. Then you will live a small life. Safe. Silent. Forgotten. You will die, and nothing of you will remain. That is the human path. But I offer you more. The words pressed into him, heavy as stone. He thought of his empty house, his quiet nights, his lonely mornings. He thought of the graves of his parents, unvisited, covered in dust. He thought of the way he had lived, drifting, waiting, never choosing. And now here she was, offering something greater. Terrifying, dangerous, but greater. His voice trembled. What would it mean? If I agreed? She leaned back again, her lips curving into that strange smile. It would mean you are no longer only human. It would mean your bloodline reaches beyond your world. It would mean you carry a future that is more than yours. My kind and yours bound together. A union that will not fade. Her words lit a fire inside him, but also froze him in place. It was too much, too fast, too impossible, and yet part of him wanted it. He looked around the restaurant at the other guests laughing, eating, drinking. They seemed distant, like shadows in a dream. None of them knew what was happening at this table. None of them knew that one decision here could change more than a life. It could change worlds. The man's hand lifted slightly, shaking, as if it might reach hers. But he stopped, holding still in the empty space between them. His breath came sharp, heavy. Her eyes softened for the first time. You feel it, she said. Do not deny it. The choice is already inside you. All you must do is listen. The man closed his eyes. He could feel it, the pull, the heat, the rising storm inside him. Fear and desire twisted together until he could no longer tell them apart. When he opened his eyes again, she was still watching him, waiting. Her gaze did not waver, and in that moment he realized something. He was not being offered a choice between life and death. He was being offered a choice between silence and legacy, between emptiness and meaning, between remaining only human or becoming something more. His lips parted, but no words came. The alien woman leaned closer once more, her voice soft, steady, final. Say yes, and you will never be forgotten. The words struck him like thunder, leaving him trembling in silence. And for the first time that night, he did not know if he was more afraid of saying no, or of saying yes. The restaurant around them felt unreal, like a stage where nothing mattered except the table in the corner. Voices of the other guests blurred into a soft hum. Glasses clinked, silver cutlery scraped against plates. Laughter rose and fell, but none of it touched him. The man's world had shrunk to a single point: her eyes. The alien woman sat across from him, calm, patient, her body perfectly still, her golden gaze burning through the candlelight. She had spoken her proposal not as request, but as destiny. Now she waited. The man's hands trembled. He had been offered choices before in life: jobs, homes, places to stay, but never one like this. This was no small step. This was a leap into darkness. He thought of his parents, the lives they had lived, the simple graves they had left behind. No children, no family, nothing lasting. He thought of himself alone in his quiet house, living days that blurred together until they were gone, forgotten. But here she was, offering something more than memory, something more than silence. His voice was hoarse when he finally spoke. If I say yes, what happens to me? Her lips curved slightly. You become more than yourself. You carry what comes after. You are no longer one, no longer alone. You are part of something greater. And if I refuse? Her eyes did not blink. You live. You grow old, you die, and the dust of your bones will vanish in time, just like all the others. Her words cut deep because they were true. He had lived long enough to know how easy it was to disappear from history, to be nothing more than a name carved on stone that no one visited. He lowered his gaze, staring at his hands, shaking as they rested on the table. His fear was heavy, crushing, but beneath it something else moved. Something dangerous. Curiosity. Desire. The whisper of a future he had never imagined. When he looked up again, she was still watching, waiting without hurry, without pressure. You are not forcing me, he whispered. No, she said softly. Choice is yours. But choice has weight. Say yes and you carry the fire forward. Say no and you let it die here. The man's chest rose and fell with uneven breaths. Sweat slid down his temples, though the air was cool. He looked around once more at the restaurant. None of the other guests knew that the fate of a line, perhaps of species, rested on one man's trembling decision. His mouth was dry. His heart pounded. Why me? He asked again, almost to himself. She leaned forward, her voice low, steady, final. Because when I looked at you, I saw the fire, and I do not choose wrong. The words struck him like thunder. He felt the weight of her certainty press against his doubts. Something inside him broke open, fear spilling into desire, doubt bleeding into belief. Slowly, his hand lifted from the table. It hovered, trembling, in the space between them. For a moment, the air seemed to hold its breath. Her hand moved to meet his, graceful, deliberate. And when her long fingers closed around his, the world outside that table fell away. It was only a touch, but it was enough. A shiver ran through him, sharp and deep, as if something ancient had entered his blood. Her golden eyes glowed faintly, her smile slow, knowing. You have chosen, she whispered. The man's lips parted, but no words came. He could only stare at her, caught between awe and dread. The candlelight flickered. Shadows stretched across the walls, bending and twisting. The sound of laughter from other tables seemed far away, like echoes from another life. The alien woman leaned closer, her voice the last thing he heard before the rest of the world vanished. One meal ends, but what we begin tonight will last forever.